Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth, and if you're new, welcome. I finished my crazy quilt blocks. I have 16 very busy blocks for probably a little boy, and I wanted to frame them with some sashing, and I didn't want my sashing to be too busy. I wanted to frame those blocks, and I dug around here, and I needed quite a bit of fabric to do all the sashing and the border, and I had a cotton sheet. Those cotton sheets are just one of my favorite inexpensive fabric sources, and they don't need to be fancy. They just need to be clean. So I have a nice color sheet here that frames my blocks perfectly. I added some red cornerstones, so I'm going to bring you along on this sewing adventure. Let's get started. Here are all the fun quilt blocks that I put together. It's sort of an I Spy crazy quilt. I used some I Spy fabric, dogs, fish, frogs, cars. I had fun digging through and choosing some of those fun fabrics, and then I worked around them with scraps, and I have a video down in the description box that shows how I did that. Then I pulled out my cotton sheets and tried to choose a color that I was going to be happy with. I really liked that green, but I think this light colored blue gray was a better fit for my blocks because, like I said, it's kind of boring and it fades into the background and you really see those fun blocks. I cut my sheet in strips, 2.5-inch strips, and they're nice long strips when you use a sheet. And then I cut my strips 10 inches because that was the size of my quilt blocks. I thought a red check would be pretty for the cornerstones, so I cut a strip 2.5 inches, and then I cut that strip into squares. I only need 9 squares for my quilt, and so I only needed a little bit of fabric, and you'll see when I finish the teeny tiny piece that was left over. I always like that when it comes out so perfectly. This one strip of fabric gave me just what I needed. Now all I have to do is add sashing. What I did is I added sashing to each of the rows, and then I made sort of a sashing row with those cornerstones, and then I put it all together. When I got this far, I decided I wanted my quilt to have one border, and so here's how I dealt with my sheet. It was a fitted sheet, so I had to cut off the elastic. I straightened the edge, and then for this quilt, I'm adding a 4-inch border. It was a really fun quilt to put together with all those crazy quilt blocks, and then again that simple fabric for the sashing and the border. It didn't need to be exciting fabric because those squares really steal the show, don't they? Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.